Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go, and we are taking a quick look at the Yahiko VG10 Westerner Yo-handled Gyuto 210mm knife. So this knife has a core steel of VG10 full stainless steel. It's a high quality, easy to sharpen steel that's used in a lot of knife lines. They do a good job on their heat treat on this, and so it's about 60 Rockwell on the heat treat on that core steel. And then the construction has 3 layers, so on either side of that hard core cutting edge steel you've got a soft stainless cladding, and if you look right there, get this too, there's your cladding line right there. So beyond that, below that is your core steel. So it's all stainless construction for easy maintenance. The weight and dimensions on these will be pretty similar from knife to knife. This one is 196 grams or 6.9 ounces. Edge length is 12 millimeters or about 8.3 inches. And the overall length from the tip to the end of the handle is about 340 millimeters. Thickness, these are about 2 millimeters thick at the spine all the way down. And pretty much just stays that way. There's not really much taper on the thickness. That's known as a distal taper. And I'd say the tip and the edge are kind of moderately thin. They're not going to just blow through things. They're not like, this is not a laser type knife, but you got a little bit of meat there at the tip, and then you got a little bit of meat there at the edge. So it's not a, wispy thin blade, but it's got good performance, kind of a good balance on performance with a little bit of, as I said, meat behind the edge and the tip for a little bit more forgiveness. The knife is fairly stiff. I will say on these, the choil, which is this back part of the blade into the bottom of the bolster, can be a little sharp on these. I don't really finish that too well. And the spine corners can sometimes be a little sharp. So take a look at that when you get it. Some people, it bothers them if that's a little sharp. Some people it doesn't. But it's pretty easy to fix that with the little sandpaper strips and a shoe shine kind of method. And you can clean that up in 10-15 minutes, no problem, if you want to do that finish work. The rest of the specs here, so let's see, the blade height is about 44.5. It's not particularly tall. The bolster's not real wide, so you still got decent clearance for your fingers. Handle, they say Packawood, but these really look like black micarta, which is actually a bonus because it's even more dense and more resistant to moisture and such, and it's more stable even than Packawood. So these look like black micarta to me. So you get a full stainless steel tang all the way through the handle, and you get stainless rivets and a nice shaped bolster that flows into the blade. Now that makes the handle, quite a bit heavier than a Japanese Wa handle blade with the partial tang, so that's going to bring our balance point back right about there. So definitely, if you're pinch gripping it, it's going to have a little bit of a handle heavy feel, but that's pretty standard for this style of knife. Let's take a look at the beauty shot here. So it's machine finished. You've got vertical finishing marks on it. You've got some etched kanji on the right side of the blade as you'd be holding it. And then here's the left side of the blade, which is plain. A few fingerprints there, apologies. The edge, out of the box, it's a pretty nice edge. It's got some polish to that edge, and it's pretty sharp. So I'll get a 6 out of 10 on my scale out of the box, so it's a pretty nice edge right out of the box. So here's what this thing looks like on the cutting board. And it's just a pretty good kind of general usable profile. So it's got a little bit of a flat, rolls in a little bit of a flat area at the back part. It'll kind of roll into that final edge there or towards the back, but got a pretty good spot for chopping back here. You've got a decent amount of belly towards the tip, so it'll get pretty high before I start digging the tip in way up there. So this thing will rock really nicely through, medium to smaller stuff, even some bigger stuff. So it'll rock nicely, push-pull cuts, glide cuts. So it's a pretty versatile profile. So it's just a nice, easy to use line of knives. It's got some forgiveness to it. It's all stainless. Aside from the choil and the spine, which you can fix pretty easy, the fit and finish is nicely done on it. Bulletproof handle. So it's just a good quality knife and easy to use in the kitchen. So this is the Yahiko VG10 Westerner Yo Gyuto 210mm knife.